Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back for another One Piece review. The Voyage continues with episode 1103. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to join the council and become a part of the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. Alright, everybody, welcome back for another week of One Piece. Hope everybody's doing super fantastic as always. So to start us off, for this episode, we got a little bit of housekeeping we got to do. So start us off. Hello, everybody. It's been a while since we last spoke. So I've been in the process of moving, but I am back and ready to get on the ground. So thank you all for being patient with me with that. I was hoping I was going to be back for the 1102 review, but that didn't work out as great as I wanted to. But you know, we're back for 1103. I had a thumbnail made for 1102 and everything. Speaking of that, you know, shout out to our thumbnail artist Nomad. If you guys need a thumbnail artist for YouTube or any other thing like that, hit him up. His information will be in the description. But nonetheless, too, I also want to thank you guys for showing the support that you guys have been on the weekly One Piece series. It means a lot. So I want to make sure I'm putting my best foot forward and providing the best content I can for you guys. So by 1104, I will have a dedicated, weekly day for release days for the One Piece series, so you guys won't have to be guessing when the episodes drop. So I'll re-update you guys on that in the 1104 episode, excuse me. But for today, we got the 1103 review. And I also want to touch up on a few key points that happened in 1102. And I also, of course, wanted to talk about the new Devil Fruit information that was brought up in 1101 as well. But we're going to do both of those after the 1103 review. So let's get to it. All right, everyone. So starting us off here with 1103, our boy Luffy was able to successfully hold back Lucci and make it back to the level phase with Dr. Vegapunk and the rest of the crew. But unfortunately, Sentomaro has fallen and control of the Seraphim have returned to CP0. CP0 starts to plot how to get past the lava phase artillery when suddenly the lava phase defense system shuts down and a clear path to the lava phase has opened for CP0. Unfortunately, they spot the Thousand Sunny and are now on the move to destroy the ship, but thankfully both our boys Zoro and Brook are still on board to hold it down. Alright, so my first inquiry is Sentomaro in fact dead? So, because you know how Oda gets sometimes with these death fake out. So that's just my first inquiry. Is Sentomaro actually dead, or did he just pass out? Is this the first true death of the arc? Only time will tell. But next up though, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Zoro versus Kaku rematch was not on my wish list, Oda. We need the Kaku versus Sanji fight to happen. Come on, Oda, give it to us. Hopefully it still does happen though, because I mean, even just from the previews for 1104, it seems like it's gonna be more of like a full-on attack they're doing against Zoro, with all the Seraphim and all that. So it may not necessarily just be a Kaku versus Zoro rematch, unless they squabble for a little bit before they pull in his Seraphim. But nonetheless, Brook is also still there, so hopefully Brook does prove to be some help. Hopefully he isn't just sitting back watching Zoro handle everything. Unless Zoro told him to chill out, who knows? We'll see. Probably not though. Before we move on, everybody, we're gonna give out the question of the week, everybody. So the question of the week is, who is your favorite CP0 member? So let me know down below in the comments who's your favorite CP0 member. If I had to choose, I guess I would choose Lucci. But I will say I am definitely hella interested to find out if Kaku awakened his Devil Fruit or not as well. And also, while I'm on this topic as well, I thought Stussy at first was the original CP9 member Zero Khalifa. But at the moment, I'm not so sure. I mean, I guess this still technically could be her. She probably just could have, cut her hair and changed her name. But no, I guess we'll really have to wait and see until Stussy used her Devil Fruit powers, because Khalifa had the bubble fruit, so of course they had the same powers, then it's more likely the same person. But yeah, but all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next section. Moving on from there, Luffy finally catches back up with the rest of the crew, but Bonnie is nowhere to be found. Somehow she has miraculously managed to find Dr. Vegapunk, and she wants answers. Bonnie corners Dr. Vegapunk in a room and turns him into a child and begins to interrogate him. In his new helpless state, Dr. Vegapunk tells Bonnie that the decision to remove Kuma's humanity was Kuma's decision and his alone, and he made a promise with Kuma not to tell Bonnie the reason why. At the same time Bonnie is questioning Vegapunk, a faint glow comes from a nearby room. Bonnie goes to investigate, and upon opening the door, she finds a giant orange paw made from using Kuma's power. This paw resembles the one from the famous Zoro Nothing Has Happened scene. This one is just a different color. Now, so I think this would be a perfect time to stop and talk about the scene we saw in 1102 where we saw our boy Kuma flying over the ocean until he runs dead into the red line. Right now, first of all, you would think that he would have a softer way of landing himself, but I digress. But nonetheless, when this man went to the red line, I was just thinking, the first time I watched this, right, I was like, there's no way he's going back to Marie's War, right? No, just no way he's going back there. He just got from there. He just got back from there. There will be no reason to go there. Maybe he just needed to hit the red line in order to, readjust himself so he can get, so he can get the egghead, right? Wrong. This motherfucker starts climbing the red line. Why? What is up there for you? What is up there for you? So now I would like to think that this is Kuma doing this of his own will, because at the same time while Kuma's climbing up the wall, Dr. Vegapunk is giving his speech about Kuma's decision to take his humanity. It was his own decision. It was hard for me too. I'm proud of Kuma. He's a great man. I'm proud to call him my friend and all that. All while he's giving that whole spiel, Kuma's climbing up the wall. So I would like to think because those two events like kind of coincide each other. It kind of is already foreshadowing that this is Kuma actually doing this of his own free will, and he's not being controlled by some scheme or anymore, or plot or whatever, or system that Dr. Vegapunk set up. There we go. I guess that could be the case, but if it is the case, he's still be run by like some system or code, right? I would assume that this at this point is being run because he wants to accomplish whatever he's trying to do by getting up Marie's back to Marie's. I don't know. It's just wild to me. I don't know why he will head back there. But speaking of the orange pod though, so I'm going to also assume that the orange pod basically like contains his consciousness or his emotions or memories, so to speak. Or I guess, basically something along the line of like his true self is in that paw, to sort of speak. Because when we first seen him do that, right, we already mentioned it back during the scene. I can't remember the name of this art, but back during that scene, right, where after Luffy and everybody got through fighting the zombies and all that. I'm blanking on this guy's name right now. Anyway, his name's not important. Gecko Moria. There we go. I'm about to say these names are always right there. But anyways, after they got done fighting Gecko Moria and all that, right? And we saw Kuma push all the pain out of Luffy and stuff like that. So I'm assuming he kind of like did something similar to himself and maybe like pushed out his memories or something, or maybe like his, like I said, his consciousness or something. I don't know how he did it, but like I said, that orange pod is more than likely is, like I said, what I'm assuming is basically Kuma's real self, is in that pod, is what I'm assuming. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, we round out this episode with an update on Captain Kidd's group. We get to see Captain Kidd and his crew sailing through danger seas as they approach an island. Kidd and his group are about to make landfall at an island we've all been waiting to see for years now. That island is none other than Elbaf, the land of the giants. From there, we transition back to Navy Branch G14, where the man, the myth, the legend himself, Garp the hero, pulls up and tells Helmeppo to get his shit together because we're going back to that pirate island, putting hands on those lowly pirates and rescuing Captain Koby, everybody. All right. So just to stop there for a bit. So just for the fact that Captain Kidd and his group is actually getting to Elbaf, that's why we've been waiting to see Elbaf and what that island would look like for years now, the whole community. So we all knew that was pretty much what was going next, all these hints and stuff that we've been getting, and Egghead so far, but I didn't think we was gonna get somebody landed on it this soon, and we actually get the see Elbaf, this soon. That's crazy. So I definitely can't wait to see what's in store for Kid and his group at Elbaf. I can't wait for that. Also, our Elbaf theory with the Poneglyph fight is getting much stronger. So just for those who don't know, one of my current theories is that the last remaining road Poneglyph is on Elbaf. That damn theory is looking strong, especially because we got some new information in this arc where we know the Johns of Elbaf had actually went to Omaha, grabbed all those books from Dr. Vegapunk. They're keeping those research books in safekeeping over there. And if they actually read those books and learned the knowledge of the Voyage history, who's to tell that they didn't go and find the last roll of Poneglyph and just started keeping it for safekeeping now? I'm telling you, that theory is getting more stronger and stronger by the day. But moving on from there, our boy Garp finally taking action. I knew they weren't gonna let Koby just sit around on the Pirate Island all day. We're just wondering, waiting to see when the Navy was gonna take action. But I guess the Navy themselves aren't gonna take action, especially when they got this current situation going on Egghead right now with Luffy. So it's up to our boy Garp. He pulled up, he said he'll take matters in his own hands, and he going to the Pirate Island, everybody. So now definitely what I'm interested to see is once Garp gets there and this whole fight between Blackbeard group starts with him and all that, right? Does Blackbeard actually have 3 motherfucking devil fruits now? Because last time we seen him, he was fighting Law, and he had that man hemmed up. So I don't know if he took his devil fruit powers as well, or he maybe just got Law locked up somewhere right now. And well, I guess I'm ready to find out about Law's fate too, just in general, because we don't know what's going on. Law could be dead for all we know. But yeah, definitely ready to see the whole situation, what happened between Law and Blackbeard, and if if indeed Blackbeard didn't end up stealing Law's devil fruits. That'd be crazy. If this man has 3 devil fruits now, he's gonna be a problem. That's all I'm gonna say, everybody. But we're gonna round off the 1103 review with our favorite scene, everybody. And so I think for me, for 1103, the favorite scene definitely has to go to the whole body interrogating Dr. Vegapunk scene and everything like that. Because one, the first half of that, when she's just chasing down Dr. Vegapunk, right? That's hilarious, that's funny and all that too. But two, really, the main thing about that, right? When she stumbles upon the orange paw in this hidden room or whatever, I feel like that scene accomplished 2 great things. One, I think we're finally starting to get a sense of Kuma's determination with that whole scene as well. Because I already mentioned this before, but during the time while she's interrogating Dr. Vegapunk, we start to see the events unfold with Kuma climbing the red line and everything like that. He is a man on a mission. Kuma is a man on a mission, and definitely can't wait to see more about his reason for why he want to go to Marie's Rock currently, because that still is just puzzling to me, and just his whole reason behind wanting to get rid of his humanity. Because what would he, what decision will he have to, or what action or thing that he has to accomplish that he has to get rid of his humanity to do that? I don't know. That's just kind of crazy. So I'm definitely, the secrets are starting to unfold now, but definitely I can't wait to get the full reveal, because this is wild. Like this is just wild. But yeah, so that is my favorite scene for 1103. Let me know down below in the comments what was your favorite scene from this episode. And that was everything that I have for 1103, everybody. So now let's touch up on some of the key points from 1101 and 1102, everybody. All right, everybody. So I want to round out this episode with some of the key points that we missed from 1102 and 1101 that we didn't get a chance to discuss because we missed those reviews. So I'm going to start with 1102 because I only got 2 points from that episode. But so the first one is, in 1102 there was a scene where all the Vegapunks was discussing how to get off the island. And the OG Dr. Vegapunk makes a call to somebody else who's also on the island, right? And asks them to come, save their life. And these people also agree. Now, Edison made a statement that if they ask this person for help, that, this person would also be hunted down by the government. So, well, one, it's great, there's another ally on the island they got. But two, this one may not be a Navy soldier, right? Because of the comments that Edison made. So I'm wondering is if this might be somebody from the Revolutionary Army who's, actually here to help out Dr. Vegapunk. So that'd be cool to see. So definitely Can't wait to see who this mystery person is. It might be a a whole new character altogether that we haven't got introduced yet to, so that would be cool. But two, the last key point that I want to touch up on from 1102, at the end of that episode, we got to see our boy Kizaru just slowly closing in on Egghead, and this man is pulling up with a lot of reinforcements. It's crazy to think about. We get out this war with an emperor just to go get in a war with the government immediately in the next arc. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, Kizaru is pulling up, and he is bringing, he bringing bodies with him. He ain't coming alone. He bringing bodies, everybody. But moving on from there, now I want to touch up on the new information that we got on Devil Fruits in 1101, everybody. And majority of this information was, Dr. Vegapunk really explaining how he came about making the seraphim and all that, right? So let's just run through the list here. So one, Dr. Vegapunk found out that yes, you can artificially make Devil Fruits, but only the Zoan types. He theorized that maybe all the special types of Devil Fruits could be replicated if given enough time, though he is not sure if they was awakening. Now, I think in that part, like when he mentioned this in this episode, I think he's referring to Logias, because right after that, he starts going and talking about how he was unsuccessful in creating Logia types and things of that nature. But nonetheless, just continue moving on with these points here before I get too far. So yes, he was unsuccessful in creating Logia types no matter what he tried. But for the Paramecia types, he found out that if he can get the user's bloodline elements, he can actually create a special blood infusion. And by administering that blood infusion, he can allow that person to have its powers, which is kind of crazy. But this green blood infusion is the green blood that we see that powers the seraphim themselves. So that's how he came about and did that. He copied and cloned the user's Devil Fruit powers. He didn't really necessarily steal their powers from them, which is kind of interesting though. But yeah, once again, the bloodline elements is, in my opinion, is Oda's fancy word for DNA, right? But that is really interesting. But what I did want to touch upon though, from all this information that he's mentioning with the Logia stuff, right? What he's saying that maybe Logias might not awaken. And so I think so far in the series, we've gotten to see the Paramecia awakening, and now, Zoan awakens. And hopefully, this is not Oda saying that, Logias won't have an awakening. And that may be because of, the type of Devil Fruits they are. The Logia Devil Fruits are, embodiments of forces of nature. So maybe, with the rules that we learned about awakening, where the user's body and mind have to become one with the Devil Fruit and all that stuff, right? So maybe it's kind of harder to do that with the force of nature itself, instead of something like, man-made that we made up ourselves and stuff like that. And also like, another creature or an embodiment or entity itself with, with Zoan Devil Fruits and stuff like that. So but I would also like to think that is not the case, because I was hoping that the hint, from Punk Hazard and all that, where we see, how Punk Hazard is a mixture of fire and ice from the fight between Akainu and our boy, I can't think of his name right now. Why is his name blinking on me right now? I do this every time. I'm so horrible with names. There we go, Akiji. Why did that take me? Why? I don't know why that name blanked on me. But yes, with the a fight versus Akainu versus Akiji, right? And they basically turned the whole island into fire and flames. And we learned that with users awakening their Devil Fruits, they start affecting more than just their bodies. They actually start affecting the environment themselves. So I was hoping that that fight was a key indication that they awakened their Logia Devil Fruits, and that's how that was able to drastically change the landscape of Punk Hazard, and not that it was just because they were fighting there for, I think that was said, that was like almost like 11 days and 11 nights. So I hope it's not the case that they were just fighting there so long that that's how the top logical body of Punk Hazard got transformed to what it is today. So like I said, I was just hoping that that was an indication of that both Akiji and Akano had awakened their Devil Fruits, and that's how they, Punk Hazard came to be is today. But I'll be hella sad if Oda makes a decision where he says, Logia Devil Fruits can't awaken. I'll be upset, because then we know He really does have a favorite with the Zoans, right? Right. But I guess this also kind of leans a little bit more into, you know, the whole Zoan devil fruits having a will of their own and everything and all that. But yeah, I would be hella disappointed if we find out that Logia devil fruits cannot awaken. Please, Oda, don't let that be the case. But yeah, that is everything that I had for the 1103 discussion. Everybody, you know, once again, it's been a long time since we last spoke in it. I hope everybody's doing well. You know, we're back on the ground. We're gonna keep it going. So, you know, like, and I just want to reiterate again that by the 1104 episode, we'll definitely have a dedicated day to releasing these episodes here, everybody. So like I said, you guys won't have to worry about when the episodes are going to drop and everything. I'm going to come up with a dedicated day and we're going to stick to that as best we can, everybody. Well, all right, everybody, have a great time and I will see you all next week. Thank you all for joining.